Welcome to The Explainer. You know, so many of us dream of turning something we absolutely love into a real, legit business. But the big question is always, how? How do you actually do it? Well, today, we're going to break down a digital blueprint for that exact journey, inspired by the story of tech entrepreneur Franco T. Hernandez. So let's dive into a story and see what we can pull from it.
This one thought, man, it hit Franco like a ton of bricks. And this was while he was at the absolute peak of his career, leading teams at some of the biggest tech companies in Latin America. You know, he was successful, working on really exciting projects. But this idea, it just sparked a real crisis for him. Yeah, despite all that success on the outside, he felt this huge disconnect on the inside. He kept asking himself, okay, what's next? Is this really it? And that feeling, combined with the crazy burnout from the pandemic, it just sent him on this whole journey to find something more.
So his search for purpose started with a habit that's actually surprisingly simple: writing every single day. And this wasn't about becoming a great writer or anything. It was about downloading his thoughts, just untangling all his feelings and trying to find the signal in the noise to figure out what he really wanted. This whole process led him to the Japanese concept of ikigai. It's this beautiful framework for finding your purpose right at that sweet spot where four things meet: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can actually get paid for. For Franco, this really sharpened his focus on a mission: empowering people using knowledge and technology.
Okay, so you found your purpose. Great. But how in the world do you turn that into a business without just getting crushed by all the competition out there? Franco's answer to this is so powerful. You have to stop competing and instead start creating a space where you're the only one.
He contrasts the red ocean, where everyone's fighting tooth and nail for the same slice of the pie, with his idea of a white ocean. And the idea here is just awesome. Instead of competing, you create a brand new market that's based on your unique mix of skills and passions. It's a space that only you can own.
And this right here, this requires a total mindset shift. It's not about constantly looking over your shoulder to see what everyone else is doing. It's about owning your unique story, your unique journey. That personal blend of skills, that's your ultimate advantage, and no one can copy it. The only person you're really competing with is yourself from yesterday. So, how do you actually build this thing? I mean, it sounds great in theory, right? Well, this isn't just talk. Franco lays out a really clear, super actionable blueprint for turning that unique value into a real deal business.
It all starts with that deep self-knowledge we were talking about. Then, from there, you pick one channel. Not 5, not 10, just one. And you start sharing your ideas consistently. But the most crucial step here is number 3. You have to get obsessed, and I mean obsessed, with understanding your audience's problems. Way before you ever start thinking about a solution.
This entire blueprint is built on what's called the audience-first model, and it's basically the reverse of how most businesses think. See, you don't start with a product and then go desperately searching for customers. No, you start by building an audience, you nurture that audience into a real community, and then, only then, do you create a product that solves that community's specific, validated problem.
This idea just flips the whole traditional business model right on its head. It's a huge shift from selling to people to serving people, solving real problems for a group of people you've already taken the time to build a relationship with. Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking, this is great, but it sounds like it needs a huge budget or a whole team of developers, right? Well, you'd be wrong. The tools Franco used to prove this entire model are surprisingly simple and honestly accessible to pretty much anyone. $19. That's it. That's how much it cost him to build the landing page for his new venture, Eater. Just 19 bucks. He wanted to prove the whole concept with the absolute smallest financial risk possible. And the result was staggering. $10,000 in the first week. And listen, this had nothing to do with a flashy website or some big ad budget. It happened because the message on that simple $19 page resonated so deeply with a very specific audience's problems that they felt seen, they felt heard.
So how was he running this whole show? You're going to love this. It's all built on a handful of simple, easy-to-use, no-code tools. He's using Notion for all his project management, a custom-trained AI for content ideas, Nas.io to host his community, and Zapier to automate and connect everything together. It's just definitive proof that you do not need to be a programmer to build a successful digital business today. But before you jump into all those cool tools, Franco has one single golden rule. And he says, this is the one step you absolutely cannot skip.
You have to do the work by hand first. Seriously. Whether it's answering DMs, onboarding new members, or sending welcome emails, you have to go through the whole process manually to really understand it, to feel the friction, and to know what your audience actually wants and needs before you ever try to scale it up with technology.
All right, so after all that, what is the big takeaway here? How can you actually apply this to your own life? Well, it all boils down to one final, really transformative idea. This is it. This is the whole game. The challenges you've already faced, the struggles you've pushed through, the solutions you painstakingly figured out for yourself, that is your single most valuable asset. That journey, that's the foundation of your white ocean.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. What problem have you already solved in your own life? Really think about that journey, that struggle, and the solution you eventually found. Because that answer, that might be the exact thing that someone else out there is desperately searching for right now.